Saga. I know nothing about this, other than I've heard it's really, really good. If I'm remembering correctly, and I could be remembering the wrong damn comic, but I think Saga was removed from some digital distribution service at some point for an issue having an explicit sex scene, which wasn't explicit, and there were plenty other comic books that had sex scenes that were equally, if not even more graphic. Hopefully that's the right... If that was Saga, that's all I really know about it. So, hey, maybe there's a sex scene in it. Ooh, let's find out. What is Saga? It's Romeo and Juliet. Yeah, it's Romeo and Juliet. With a few notable differences. In this version, Romeo and Juliet don't die. They live. And they have a baby. In space! This series is fantastic. This is the most page-turner of any of the comics I've read on this series so far. The writers really know how to end an issue with a cliffhanger. I mean, you just, or at least I, just kept... I just wanted to keep reading. This is a series that I will definitely buy at some point. It's an ongoing series. It's still being written right now. I think they're on like issue 40. I probably won't continue with it until it's done. Hopefully that's not too many years away, because I'm the type of guy, I don't really like reading issue to issue. I like having the whole thing and just reading it. I like binging my comics. Which is why I'm not as big a fan of the mainline DC Marvel superhero books, because they go on forever. And not even just, DC Marvel superheroes. Stuff like Archie, which I may have to do on the show. That's been going on for decades. It's like, let's read Archie. It's like, where do you start? It's like Doctor Who, another series, although there are comic books, but the television show's been going on for decades. There's probably over 1,000 episodes or something. And I'm the kind of person who wants to start at the beginning and continue to the end. And some series are so damn long, it's like, I don't have that kind of time. Anyway, Saga. So, like Romeo and Juliet, there's a planet of peoples, and this planet has a moon with other peoples who live on it. And they're fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting. But a peoples from the planet and a peoples from the moon get together and fall in love. Despite their peoples constantly warring with each other. So, our lead characters, Franklin and Jennifer, I honestly cannot remember their names. I'm so terrible with names. So they fall in love, they have a kid, and they run. Because both of their peoples want to kill them, and their abomination of a child. I am going to try not to spoil anything. So essentially, Romeo and Juliet, right? Except they don't die, they have a kid, and they run from both of their families who are trying to kill them. And it takes place in space with technology and magic. It's very fantasy. So there's laser guns, and there's magical spells, and there's all kinds of different creatures. There's a Arachne bounty hunter, which is a centaur is half person, half horse, and Arachne is half person, half spider. and she has a really cool design. I really like it. There's another bounty hunter that's after them that has a lying cat as a companion. A lying cat is a very large, blue, skinless looking cat that, if it hears a lie, it says lying. So, the Arachne is actually this bounty hunter's former girlfriend, and they had a falling out. And she's calling him. He's like, it's her. I'm never speaking to her again. And Lying Cat says, lying. He's like, hello? He goes to a pleasure planet, a bordello planet, and they won't let Lion Cat in the planet. And he's like, well, I guess you'll have to stay with the ship. Don't worry, you wouldn't have had any fun anyway, Lion Cat says, lying. I love Lion Cat. Lion Cat is the best. There are even ghosts. There's a ghost of a teenage girl who stepped on a landmine. So her ghost is just a torso with her intestines hanging out the bottom. It's gruesome, but it's very, very cool. So, yeah, Romeo and Juliet live, they have a kid, and they're chased across the universe by their own families, their own peoples, and bounty hunters who want them dead. There's robots, too! There's like a robot monarchy with King Robot, and he sends his son, Prince Robot IV, to go, hunt these two down, and they're abomination of a child. Saga is so damn cool. It's visually interesting. It's got some great characters. It's paced incredibly well. It's incredibly imaginative. Maybe it starts sucking after Volume 6. I don't know, but I had a ton of fun reading this sucker, and I want to read more. There's even a... I'll give away one thing. Our couple, Franklin and Jennifer, they're trying to get off the planet because they're being hunted, of course. So they're making their way to the forest of rocket ships, which is kind of literal. The trees are actual rocket ships that you can enter, and they take off and fly through the universe. So you have a rocket ship, an organic rocket ship made of primarily wood. Rocket ships just sprout out of the ground. And they go on the rocket ship and like, wow, this rocket ship has a foyer, or a foyer, as that's how they spell it. That's how it should be pronounced, right? And it's like, wow, this is great. And someone says, yeah, it was a really good year for spaceships. That crop was really decked out, or something like that. If I had any criticism for the Saga, the series so far, because it can't all be positive, right? It's narrated by the baby. So the story is presented as the baby, who I guess is now grown, is relating her story to you, the reader. I'm not totally on board with that device. It's not bad. It's not intrusive. It's used smartly. It works. I guess I'm just kind of take it or leave it on it. I don't even know. That's like the biggest problem. That's my biggest black mark against the first, 6 issues of Saga is... I guess really the only problem with it is, well, I guess the baby survives. There goes all the tension. The parents may bite it at some point, but we know the baby survives because, Then again, there are ghosts in this story, so maybe it's the ghost of the baby who died is telling you the story. But since she's telling you the story, she had to survive at least to child where you would learn language. I don't know. It's just a small itty bitty little nitpick. So, yeah, Saga. I really liked it. And that's all I have to say about that. Lion Cat is the best.